JB here. Going to be really quick. September 16th, 2024. About 39 minutes to the close. Sorry about that, folks. I actually wasn't going to get on audio. It's not much to talk about, at least of the names I'm in and the names I was looking to possibly get entries today. Certainly not doing too much. So I really don't have too much to add. First, take a look at the SPY and on the watch list 563. Put as possible resistance. Sure enough, what do we get to 562, 90, 99 somewhere in there? And then the low just barely broke under 560 for a flash at about 10:30 before the bounce. So just a chop day, and when we have chop days, it's a little frustrating when some of the names are just killing premium. So hopefully get a little more direction. Obviously, we'll get some more volatility heading into Wednesday and during Wednesday, but not much really to talk about. And also take a look at the move. I was like 0.5% intraday move from the lows to the highs. I think last week we went down to 540, and we traded up to between 540 and 555. That's like a 2.7% intraday swing. So uh, he puts things kind of in perspective on some of the moves. At least today, the chop and the candle, you can just see it on the chart is small. So we'll see what happens here. I'm not being overly aggressive heading into Wednesday. It doesn't really make sense. But if I do see some opportunities, obviously I'll jump on them. For some reason, I don't have my IWM chart. So look, some individual names and just really quick. And so Redfin, which had to think I was up 55% last week, had to think at some point there'll be some kind of pull. I still think it's heading over $15 short term and then into the 20s in the coming months. But that doesn't mean profit takers can't come in, especially on a name like Redfin that people there's still some shorts in the name, and people take profits, and all of a sudden it becomes one of these things where just more profit takers come in, push it back. So I went and locked the closer strikes in the Octobers. I was actually going to do it near the open. Right after the open, I just waited because I still have the Januaries, and the thing is, the premiums are holding up even with when it was pulling this morning. So those are up 150% or so. I think last I checked with 220. I got those at 95. Sorry, I locked some of those in. And tomorrow's another day. Wednesday's another day. Don't be surprised if I add more October or even November strikes. And then you start looking, it's above the upper Bollinger Band. And if you know some of the technical and indicators that I look at on charts, the moving averages, Bollinger Bands are two of my most favorite. Bollinger Bands for oversold and overbought conditions, and then the moving averages for support resistance. And when it's above the upper Bollinger Band, doesn't mean it can't keep going. It's just when they're extended, it kind of gives me a little caution. So still possibly could rally this tomorrow or into the close here, but always good, always be closing, right? Take some, always good to be taking some profits. So that's that. Clear Secure, my 32 strikes are back to life. The stock is at multi-year highs right now, up 3% today. That has, and I talk about Bollinger Bands as support resistance, but when they're tight and it's not an overextended situation, tight Bollinger Bands can usually precede a large breakout. And what happens, the Bollinger Bands are tight because there's a tug of war. And at some point, the buyers or the sellers tire out, and the bull takes control or the bear takes control, and it's usually an outsized move. So, I mean, I'm looking at you now, and I think $32, 33. I thought maybe it trades up near 35 in the coming days, especially if there's a bigger break tomorrow or intraday tomorrow. I'll look for some other strikes, and I'll lock my Septembers in and get the Octobers. Hopefully, I can lock September's in for nice profits. But good to see Clear Secure running. It's surprising the whole travel sector as a whole. With cruise lines are up today. It seems like the airlines are all doing well. And here's a name that it just benefits from all of that. And I look at the valuation, what it's done with stock buybacks, fundamentals, cash position, dividend. So it does all that stuff, and I think it bodes well for more upside. All right, so my rant there on Clear. Not too much to talk about here on Turn either. Turn was looking great out of the gate this morning. BMO Capital, they raised their price target from, I think it was from 19 to 26. They reiterated their outperform rating. It's surprising, and I wouldn't say surprising, but Turn is at $9, right? So you have an analyst that was at a 200% gain. That's the 200% higher target. And if you go look, most of the analysts have teens, 19, 18, $17 price targets. And a lot of them had initiated their price targets back when it was $6, $7. So I won't be surprised to see more analysts going out and raising their price targets. And hopefully that kind of puts the floor. And I thought the offering at 1049 put the floor in. Maybe these analysts is the kick it needs to get over that offering price. Still have the Octobers. I'll lock some of those in. I'll continue to look for opportunities to play turn for upside. And who knows, always got the possibility of M&A. Speaking of M&A, and knock on wood, VKTX, that $70 handle, it's been struggling to break. I mean, all the way to May. So once that gets over $70, it should be off to the races. I was going to wait towards the end of the week maybe to get some October strikes. If it really starts to break, especially over that 70 handle, I'll look to get the strikes into October. Same with Roku in regards to sitting on my hands today. Just it looked like maybe was going to find a bid at the open. It did the reverse, sold off all the way down to 72, bounced back. It's pretty much flat right now. So I'll probably just sit on my hands on that one at least today, and I'll continue to look for opportunities to trade that one for upside into the 80s. And then some of these other names running today. You take a look like Unity Software, which I think I had the 16 calls or 17 calls a couple times in the summer. The last batch I had with August, I think I had it earnings into the 20s. And of course, it reversed course despite good earnings. And now it's finally breaking out. So it kind of drives you nuts. So as much as I want to try and chase that one, I shouldn't say chase, but I mean, the stock is up 4.5%, was running hard about 12:30 this afternoon. I'll probably just wait on that one as well. I'm trying to think of some of the other names. Oh, so Align Technologies is always a name. These companies that have huge stock buybacks, their stock had their blackout periods. The company can't buy back the stock during earnings and things like that. And then all of a sudden, you'll see a company like Align who has a very active stock buyback program. You'll see the stock just go bonkers over a very short period of time with no news or catalyst. And it did it on Friday, was rallying, and then it was continuing this morning. I almost went and got some inexpensive, well, I should say inexpensive. The reason I didn't get them is because they were somewhat expensive calls to play for a move to like 265 or so this week. But again, there's the wild card here. So with the Fed on Wednesday, even if it was set to get to 265, that Wednesday move and any missteps that Fed Chair Powell might have, or whatever it might be, could just put a hiccup in a move for Align. So I'll probably again be very patient in some of these names, and then maybe after the Fed statement and during the press conference things look good, maybe I'll look to get some strikes there. That's Align. And there was one more. I think that's it. Block is finally starting to look good. SE, I have every time it looks like SE Limited is going to break out, it fades up near 82 to end the week. I think it was 81 and 81.76, and then 82.06 at the open, and then it just sold off all the way down to 78.90. So another one, I'll just sit on my hands for now for what I have, and at maybe a break back over 84 or so, and I'll look to get some strikes there. And I think that's it, folks. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Yeah, I mean, Apple 3-month lows. It seems like I said it this morning on the rant. It seems like every couple quarters or every year or two, Apple has some kind of news. It always seems to be with China, or there'd be some report out that people are stepping back from the iPhone, whatever, and then a couple months later, it's back to where it was trading. I'm not saying I'm buying calls on Apple, but it's just funny how that works. All right, folks, let's have a great afternoon. I'll be back on audio tomorrow. Rock and roll.